Hello, in this video we are going to be talking about exponential graphs and how we look at an exponential graph and create the equation that matches it. Because these are going to be exponential graphs, our equations are going to be in the form y equals a times b to the x, where a is going to be our y-intercept and b is going to be our common ratio. So let's take a look at our first example. We have a graph here, so we know our equation is going to be y equals, and now we need our y-intercept. So we're going to look at our y-axis, which is our vertical axis here, and try to see where does my graph cross my y-axis. And that's happening right here at this green point, which is at the point 0, 2. It is 2 spots above 0, so our y-intercept is 2. Now we need to find our common ratio. Now, because this graph is curving in the upwards direction, that means that our numbers are going to grow bigger, which tells me that this problem is going to have a pattern of multiplication. If our graph were to point in the downwards direction, that's how we would know that it would be a division exponential function. But this one is growing, so it's going to be multiplication. But we need to figure out what does it multiply by. So we need to look at the next point on our graph, which is right here, this little orange point. Now that point is at the point 1, 6. So what we need to do is look at our y values. We had 2, and then we went up to 6. So we need to figure out, okay, what multiplication happened there? 2 times what gets us up to 6? Well, that is times 3. So our common ratio is 3. And our equation is going to be y equals 2 times 3 to the power x. Please pause your video and try this problem on your own. The answer to this you try question is y equals 4 times 2 to the power x. Let's look at another example. Again, we're always going to start with y equals and our y-intercept. So find your y-axis and look at where does your line cross. This one crosses at 0, 1. Our y-intercept is 1. Now this is an example of an exponential curve that is curving in the downwards direction. So because it's curving in the downward direction, that means that our values are getting smaller, and that this exponential function is going to be a division. So again, we need to look at the next closest point to our y-intercept, which is again this little orange dot, which is at the point -1, 3. And if we wanted to, we could look up here at this purple point as well, which is at the point -2, 9. And we want to look at our y values and try to figure out what division was happening between these points. So 9 divided by what gets me to 3? And then 3 divided by what gets me down to 1? Well, that is dividing by 3. So we could write this exponential function as y equals 1 divided by 3 to the x. Or, if we wanted to write it as a fraction instead, we would have 1 times 1/3 to the x power. Again, please pause the video and try this question on your own. And you should have gotten the answer of y equals 8 divided by 4 to the x, or if you wanted to write your common ratio as a fraction, you should have gotten y equals 8 times 1/4 to the power x.